Well, first of all, welcome in Amsterdam, and glad to have you here. Why did you guys choose to come to Amsterdam this year? Because last year was in Madrid, right?
Well, no, we go all the way. We go around a lot of times, but this year the format's a little bit different. Instead of doing one major event, we decided to actually go to our territories and do individual events there, just as a thank you. Realistically, there's a lot of fans here, with the football event.
So there are multiple events.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In what way, in your opinion, does the game differ from last year's version?
Well, there's a lot of different modes and a lot of different things. Obviously my career thing is a big thing for us. It's likely this year. We think it's going to be a lot deeper and a lot more engrossing for the user. We think that they'll actually care about their character a lot more than before. The music this year is phenomenal with the multiple DJs.
What's your favorite DJ?
I'm old school, so for me, obviously, I'm going to go with Premier. Because he's had so many of the hits that I grew up with. But all of them have some. Everything that's on there is good for me. Yeah, and all the different playlists give you a different flavor. I'm really happy. I mean, recently I listened to a lot of Kid Ink and Chris Brown and stuff like that, just because it's not so much because it's rap, but it's more the R&B kind of mixture of hip music. It goes well with the NBA too. So that I'm happy that flavor's in there. But yeah, I usually will go back to Nas and Jay-Z and all that kind of thing. But beyond that, there's so many improvements on the floor. Between the presentation, you saw graphical improvements. You saw more emotion. You saw how the crowd reacts a lot better and it's more live than it's ever been before. And then on top of that, gameplay improvements from new physics, collision modeling. New ball physics. When you see dunks this year, they really, if a guy quick dunks, you see it and you feel it. If it's a power dunk, you feel that as well. The ball handling is a lot tighter than it's ever been before. We have brand new controls, for passing. I mean, it's once people really get into it and they start feeling it, they'll know it's a complete new ball game. And the AI is smarter than any basketball game and possibly any sports game I've ever played.
This year you guys have 3 cover athletes.
Yes, we do.
Steph Curry, James Harden, and have you worked with them last year?
I have. Well, I've worked with them, for a couple of years now.
A couple of years,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And then really close?
Yeah, well, James is a huge NBA2K fan. He plays all the time.
Is he the best at the game?
Paul George would say that he's the best. So it depends on who you talk to. Everybody's gonna say that they're the best at it. But he's really good. So he's good. Steph has been phenomenal. Steph doesn't play near as much, but he's a fan.
He's a little kid, right?
He's got his brother. His brother is a really huge competitor. Seth and Steph play together a lot. But Seth is better than Steph, from what I understand, But he was awesome to work with this year. I don't know if you saw when we captured him. So he's been really, really easy to deal with as a cover athlete. And Anthony Davis is just a phenomenal person. You saw him in Madrid last year. You saw that battle that they had on the floor. So he's great. He's a great personality. I think he's got the highest upside of any player in the NBA right now. So we're just thrilled to have him.
And if you have a choice, which one of the 3 would you have on your cover? You can switch it up.
Yeah, but it's tough. I'm going to go with Steph just because I love what he's been able to do. I love how great of not just a player he is, but a leader and a family man and everything else.
Which track is your personal favorite on the game?
I forget the title of it. They just played it. It's a Nas track. Yeah. I forget the name of it right now. Though.
Nas is just.
Yep. Nas is one of my favorite guys for ever. It's. I love the mixture of just quality of delivery on top of relevance in his delivery to what. He paints a story of the way life really is. So.
It was not about the women and the cars and the money. It was who delivers as well. Okay. With talked about the summer league coming back in NBA2K16. In what way can we expect to see summer league? Is it in my career mode as well? Is it that we see in the online modes?
It's in my GM.
My GM.
Yeah, it's in my GM. So the summer league is obviously a big component to playing in a franchise and building your guys, right? You get your rookies, you need to see how they can perform. So we actually have the Samsung Summer League, and then we have our own version, which is the 2K Summer League, because we don't actually have the Orlando one. So.
Okay, but you don't see you don't have the opportunity to go with my player to the summer league.
You know what? Right now, I'm not sure if you can with the my player. I don't believe so.
And what specific role does the college teams play in the my career mode?
Well,
Because we knew
we
a lot
haven't
about.
announced it. We haven't announced anything about it. You know that you're going to be choosing a college team, you know, and that then plays out further on.
It's a secret, right?
It's still a secret. It's just
Very good. Can we expect some more college teams and college leagues in the coming years and coming NBA2K games? Or is
I don't know. I mean, you know, it's kind of a touchy thing for us, and obviously we make an NBA. We'll be making NBA games, so that's our focus, and that's where we're gonna stay. You know, so we kind of just don't know where we're gonna take that.
Yeah, because you guys had NCAA.
We used to have
a couple of
NCAA
years ago. Is that
Well, right now, I don't think any NCAA game is making a comeback. You know, there's no more NCAA football. There's no, you know, so NCAA has to figure some things out before we can come back and make games.
Why did you guys decide to bring back crew mode like already?
Well, you know, it was hugely requested for starts, right? So, you know, what did they want? They wanted matchmaking. They wanted leaderboards. They wanted to be able to play as a team with their team and customize it. And all of those things, I think in general, sports games kind of lend themselves, and basketball more than anything, to have people play together, have a really fun time. I mean, we used to play clubs in FIFA at the office. We actually had a club, and you know, but it's tough to coordinate 11 kids. It's easy to coordinate 4 or 5, you know, and then that's what people wanted.
Of course, every year you guys rate the players. Players get a rating. Is it tough to get to that rating, or is it like you debate it's easy to get to that rating?
I don't think
because I know when Hassan Whiteside last year showed off in the game, he had like a triple double. He said, "I hope this get my 2K rating up." So it's a big deal with the players as well.
It is. And matter of fact, last 2 weeks. They've been tweeting our community guys, and so they would say, you know, if somebody asked a question, we would answer. If any of the players said, "Hey, what's my rating?" we would send back the picture with the rating, and then they complain. You know, but the thing about it is that statistics dictate who you are, and that's what we do. You know, we do it by stats. You know, the only time that there's any massaging of a rating is when a player who you know had a certain amount of stats goes to a new team and you don't know what his role is going to be there. He can't be the same exact player because he's not necessarily playing in the same exact situation. So you kind of start making adjustments, but most of the time we kind of just wait to see how they just wait.
Last year in Madrid, you told our colleagues from Dailyhoops that your favorite team is Detroit.
Yeah.
How are your feelings for Detroit coming year?
They're not that great. They're still not that great.
Because Greg Monroe left.
Greg Monroe left. You know, I hope that Jackson can do what we expect him to do. I hope that Brandon Jennings comes back and he's the same player that he was before. But you know, overall, I still feel that we're missing some key components. We have a great center in Drummond. You know, I don't think we're really deep on the bench side. You know, so there's a lot of work to do.
Because I know if you like a team, you want them to play. Yep. So you're not going to Detroit right now. Okay. Last question, man. Who is your 2016 NBA champion? Do you have any idea?
I went to Vegas recently and put money down on the fact that the Warriors were beat.
Okay.
I say this because I think they're a great team. I think that they can rely on a lot of different opportunities. And then ultimately, I also think that the coach is doing a phenomenal job of putting them in the position to win every single game. And that's tough to say. There's few coaches like that where immediately you're just like, this guy has something. I mean, I don't even have a stat for it, and maybe you do. How many times did they score coming out of the timeout? Because it looked to me like they scored 100% of the time.
Great plays.
Timeout. And so I would sit there and I'm like, they're about to get 2 points, and then they would get 2 points and it would be easy, So I'm really, really happy with what he brought to us.
You don't think that the San Antonio Spurs are?
No, I actually think that the San Antonio Spurs are kind of my dark horse because I think that they've improved a lot with Aldridge. And so I think that people are going to be, they're not going to be surprised though. I don't think people are going to sit there and go, well, we didn't expect it.
Well, every year they write them off, so.
Correct. Yeah. So they have a chance. I mean, if I'm looking at it, and the Clippers have really added to that roster, so they finally have more than just, Blake and Chris, right at the beginning. But their bench is a lot better now with Stevenson, JR, and my favorite assassin that went to school with me.
Okay.
Jamal Crawford went to Michigan.
Okay, right.
So, I went, Okay.
I think that's it, man.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This has been an extremely tough decision. Each school was carefully considered, but I have finally decided to choose. I've decided to go to the great University of